What is going on, guys? It is Nate here, and I'm bringing you another gameplay commentary that I'm probably going to ramble on about something for a good 5 minutes, which wasn't the original topic that I was starting off on, but you know how we do it at this channel. But what I want to talk about today was actually DLC, because the DLC season is right upon us for Call of Duty. I think it comes out on the 18th, and as I check my phone right now, today is the 10th. So, and I might have that date wrong, it might be another day, but so I wanted to talk about is the DLC, and basically what I want to start off with was an analogy that a lot of people like to refer to when they talk about video games and their prices. And it's you know, you go to the movie theater and you pay for your ticket, which is like $10, and then you buy some popcorn and stuff, and you know that's like another $15. So let's just say on the cheap side you go to a movie and spend around $20, and an average movie is going to be about 2 hours. So you spent $20 for 2 hours of entertainment, and that's, you know, that's fine. A lot of people don't complain about that. You know, they might go, you know, once a month or once every so often whenever a good movie comes out, depending on who you are and what you like to do. And then people say, you know, it's crazy that you spend $60 just for a video game. But, you know, for a lot of people, myself included, I play much more than, you know, it's just a couple of hours. And so while $60 is a lot of money, and you know, if it was pre-owned then maybe it's even cheaper. It is a lot of money, but the dollars per hour, I guess if you're comparing it to a movie or even a sporting event, you know, sporting events are crazy. Like the cheapest tickets you can find for a Cavs game, which is the basketball team around my town, you know, that's like $20, $25 for those cheap, really bad seats, and some of them are like $50 for the average ones, and you know, $100, $200 as you get closer, and that's only 2 or 3 hours of entertainment. So if you put that in perspective, I don't think video games are really that expensive, and I think once you explain that to people, I think a lot of people understand that as well. The thing is when it comes to DLC, and especially things like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Now, Battlefield's DLC is they have a lot more than Call of Duty, because they get around 3 or 4 maps per DLC, but as of recent years they've been getting, you know, like I think an average of maybe 20 weapons per year, I think it is. At least for Battlefield 3 they had 2 DLCs with 10 apiece, and then I think they had 3 DLCs with like 5 or 6 for Battlefield 4. So there is like it's like $50 or $60 for the Battlefield Premium, and then it comes with the DLC once a year. And then Call of Duty also does have the DLC package, the Season Pass, and I believe that's $50. I'm not quite sure. But all it does is just add to the game that you were already playing. And now I understand that it's not a lot of money when you compare it to, you know, the hours of entertainment that you receive. But the question that I have is really, is it worth it? And the reason I bring that up is because I feel like the DLC weapons are not too spectacular. Now, I understand that there are definitely 2 sides to this argument, and the maps, you know, the maps don't really, I don't really care for them, because the only thing they do is freshen the game up. They, you know, they extend the life of a game, which is great, and I don't really feel positive or negative towards them. You know, I don't think that's a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. And so when it comes to the weapons for me, really, and Treyarch, they also do have the zombies map, which some people buy the DLCs just for that. But anyway, I'm getting off topic, like I said I would. The weapons, like the Widowmaker is going to come out for, you know, I think it's the Xbox first and then the PS4 and PC later, because of that dumb agreement. I don't agree with it, even though I am an Xbox player. And that weapon just completely sucks. I don't know why, but I just don't like it at all. It feels like a semi-automatic, well, actually a fully automatic FAL from Black Ops 2, but then you give it like much less damage, and maybe even a slower fire rate and more recoil, and you know, you could overheat in like 8 bullets, and I just don't think that the weapon's very good. So in my opinion, I think that you should definitely, at least for the Season Pass holders, you know, everyone who buys the DLC, I think that if you were to give them a weapon, you know, since Black Ops 2 started that trend and Ghost continued it, I think that the weapon should be good. Because if you go back to Black Ops 2, they gave you the Peacekeeper submachine gun, and that gun is one of my favorites of all time. You know, that's up there with like the Modern Warfare 3 ACR, the Modern Warfare 2, Noobtube. Oh, don't dislike this video, please. I love the Noobtubes. No, I'm just playing. I liked them when I was a noob, but that's why they call them Noobtubes. Anyway, getting off topic again. The Peacekeeper is one of my favorite weapons, but wasn't overpowered or anything. Up close, it kind of had a slow fire rate, and it was really good for distance because it had low recoil, but it didn't have the most damage. So it was kind of mediocre at close range, kind of mediocre at long range. It wasn't overpowered, and I think Treyarch got that right. But they only gave you one weapon for the whole entire year. A lot of the weapons came in zombies, but weapons and zombies don't really matter after a certain round. You just kind of fire towards a big horde. And the maps, I thought they were great, but overall, for the amount of money I paid, if I'm just really paying for one really good weapon, or at least one really fun weapon, not like powerful by any means, and then a bunch of maps, I don't know if it's worth it. And then Ghost, I don't even consider that a Call of Duty game. That just never happened, like the 4th Indiana Jones movie. I just don't want to... Anyway, but they came out with some weapons. They came out with the Ripper and the Maverick. I think those were the only two. They had the Maverick assault rifle and the Maverick sniper. And the Maverick assault rifle, I don't know. I didn't really feel it when I first picked it up. It felt like it was really overpowered, but then I used it for a couple more games, and I just didn't like it. I don't know what it was. I felt like every other weapon kind of outclassed it, and the Ripper was really, really good up close when it was in a submachine gun mode, but it was kind of like this weird, I guess it was like on its own class weapon because it was a submachine gun and an assault rifle you could toggle, and then Sledgehammer comes out with this laser beam, and I feel like for DLC, they're just trying to give you something cool looking. They're not really trying to give you something worthwhile or worth your money. And Battlefield 4, when you compare those guns, I mean, every single weapon in that game is pretty much like a copy of itself. It all does like 24 damage up close and stuff, and you know it's really hard to differentiate besides like the fire rate and the recoil. But when you look at their DLC weapons, you know they all compete, and you can't really tell a difference between the DLC weapons and the base game weapons. You know, they're not overpowered. It's not unfair to the people who don't have the DLC, but for the people who do have the DLC, it's just like the maps of Call of Duty, where it'll extend the life, it'll make the game more fun. And I think that's what Call of Duty needs to do. I think they just need to go back to basics and just make some normal weapons that can compete. They're good in some areas, they're bad in the others. Not overpowered, but yet worth your money. And that's just really my 2 cents. I'd like to know what you guys think, if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, what you think they should do. Anyway, if you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It would really help me out a lot. And I appreciate all of you for stopping by. I love your faces, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!